In the previous video, I didn't actually going to be requesting for this thing as well, because if we're not worried about for this thing as well, things have just completely reset and some kind of like this, and it's completely reload, and some kind of, we already reviewed some kind of Club Penguin comic studios around here, and this time we're going to be for reviewed for this entire username as well. This is going to be for this is actually Quintessential's profile, which means it's actually going to be for using the straw page. If I gotta be clicking here, that leads us for some kind of reference over here, and which is gonna be the fantasy of Genshin Impact. This is not literally a fantasy at all. If I'm not gonna be saying around here for somewhere, if you're probably going to be know about this, this is not going to be trying to saying this like anything that goes on. It's absolutely having a lot of kinds of badges and multiple like those cells, as well as we're going to be seeing this requires sign in, and that won't be necessary for all viewers. So because this is not going to be necessary as well, so if we require sign in, which is absolutely showing all of some kind of like those things, I'm not going to be going for logging in, which is I'm probably not trying to do so as well. So another one is going to be from another kinds like the Mackie Rolls profile, which is probably going to be for around here. I already found out as well that I just completely check it out of those things as well. So since that time that I just didn't find ourselves, it was absolutely written by somewhere else, because this is actually particularly underrated as well. So there must be continuing around with those some kind of people like any other kinds of things as well. So there is nothing everywhere as possible, as we're probably going to be find out as well. So we're already reviewed for his another one. I'm probably sure it has been for a little bit of a while as well. So let's get into a quintessential comic studio as we're gonna be look for. So I probably should that I'm not gonna be very sure that the two links are gonna be in the description as well, and I'm probably sure we did that in the previous video. Alright, we're gonna be showing off for a little bit for one things, and we're gonna be fun somewhere through. I have already seen this. It was probably underrated, and it was, I'm not gonna be very sure. I felt confused for one thing, and there must be only one character off, and something in other categories that says art, and probably from anything as well. Could be for the art as well. So some other kinds of the personnels like the OCs. I'm not very sure. This isn't going to be for his second account. Whenever I'm not probably sure that some kind of anime reference is what, so we don't want to do this like anyways. Turns out I put Ferrari cars in Mackie's dump comic studio because this has got to be a prank like anything as well, that Ferrari's almost going to cut off me like whenever this is not going to be doing for about for this video. So nothing in this thing as well, as you might gonna be clicking onto the link in the description around here. So let's go for this one into a quintessential or quintessential comic studio. I'm probably sure this is could be for the anime version as well. So this could be for around here some kind of, and the high thing could be for one thing. Of course, this is not gonna be going for around here. It was owned by himself, good on me, and maybe and good at art as well. This is absolutely a little bit awful, and because of some kind of this is not a Cookie Run reference. Another one, it was owned by Quintessential, and all of the OCs or some kind of OCs and stuff is belong to Quinn himself or herself. Please edit or like the, I'm not sure. Please credit if you use these OCs outside of the studio. Anyway, this isn't going to be for around here. And if it's absolutely credit to Quinn, like anything it was, there was nothing over here, including the backgrounds, which is not going to be insanely right, and I'm probably still using like anything as well. And what about for some kind of art? Art means art. It could be for around for some other kinds of language. Let's see if I'm going to be translated into some kind of other language as well. So I'm probably sure that I just gonna be find out what language is going to be. If I'm gonna be saying art, no, it was art. What is absolutely saying about here? And could be for around here. What is absolutely that art means? And it's not gonna be even for some kind of art. It was Genshin Impact pictures like themselves. And there must be a milk shadow cookie trapped in a jar. Art of Cookie Run fans, Art of Cookie Run, wait a second. Cookie Run reference of Genshin Impact. Another one could be the OCs, which is related to Genshin Impact, could be like them as possible. Even though this isn't going to be for exactly how is actually like them. There's nothing that I just gotta be finding out. There's no Cookie Run there's no Cookie Run backgrounds, and especially that must be a phone. That must be some kind of other kinds of people. And I just turn it on for the spoilers up, which means you might gotta be seeing them as literally this. Even though there must be more orts, could be for even like themselves. And that will be concludes like all of them as well. I'm pretty sure that hopefully that he might get to be responding me for taking down in this comic creator, except some other kinds like the comic studio murder mystery and like anything as well. There is more to come, and it won't be necessary at all. A few more cringe things, such as like these, anyways, as we looked for anything such as milk shadow cookie, like anything before. There must be a little bit more, and more cringe like those things. There must be featured some kind of Genshin Impact reference, seeing Moonlight Cookie, Stardust, Truffle, and probably the Mesmerizer reference between like them as well. And then it concludes like Caramel Arrow, and there's more Mesmerizer reference. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely a little bit worse. This is getting even weird and bizarre it is. And so there you have it. There must be some kind of guy like over here for such as this. And I just probably using for those OCs instead of art like those things. Probably could be some cars that I added, just like the Shelby Cobra and the Jaguar XJ. Even for these guys as well. Well, maybe I might gotta be naming them as well. It's not going to be for these guys as well. Some guys could be like these guys as well. And then there's Quinn, was absolutely with Gordon Freeman. He was absolutely with Gordon Freeman anyways. And a mechanic thing, or I'm not very sure. This isn't going to be for her like this. It was absolutely right next to a Shelby Cobra, and probably that's it. And that wasn't going to be for around it maintained by himself, and it was not going to be to do this as well. I used amount of crossovers like them as well, instead of adding Twilight and Flash Century, which means this isn't going to be for exactly one thing as well. Or, Sunset Shimmer could be right behind the wheel of this, and which means that's not existence. Or even non-existence as well, even for this thing as well. Thankfully, it was created back in the day. It was not gonna be only for one thing as well. This is no reason that I just gonna be using like anything as well. But right here, I just completely saved some drafts, even Ferraris as well, that I just concludes that I'm just using here. Thankfully, that was not going to be an entire like those things. It's not going to be using the two links is going to be into the description below, so bear that in mind. We're going to be doing this next time. So, the link is going to be into the description below, and especially into the Quintessential Comic City. If you're going to be finding it, you might going to be asked permission about for the OC characters and making them for some kind of episodes. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to be signing off, and I'll talk to you mini lads and comic studio users all later.